Yeah, no, no. Well, I just started it now, so
No, no,
yeah. I
you're
mean,
good, you're
that's
good.
that's awesome. Comeback of the year.
Yeah, man,
How
that was
awesome
pretty
is
cool,
that?
man. I was shocked. I showed up to support some friends, and for me to even be selected, I didn't even know I was even in that category. So like that was really cool, and it really just shows that, man. Even though I'm in the indies and stuff like that, man, people do respect the work that I've brought. A lot of guys have talked about, they're really happy to see me back. The
As they
locker
should.
rooms. I mean, it's really nice. Like, I came from a company that wasn't really light. I'm going to be honest with it. The promoter that I started with, he wasn't the best person in the world. I mean, I always said it numerous times. He was a great person outside of wrestling. I called him a father. But when it came to pro wrestling, I'm going to be honest, he was like the scum of the earth. And for people to give me open arms, to give me an opportunity to get out and branch myself, it really was a tough time, and people really took time to help me with that. And then obviously when I got hurt, I just felt like a lot of things were not fit fulfilled, and I mean, I was okay that it was over. I mean, but I got a neck problem, and I tell you right now, where you just sitting in a bed and you're just like, man, this right here is my life now? Like, really? I love being AP, but was it worth it? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? That was something that I was like every single day constantly thinking, like, was it worth it? Me being a gym rat. Was it worth it? I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do the things that I used to do.
Right.
I mean, my daughter was just born. I couldn't hold her. So it's like, my son being special needs. I mean, I couldn't really do a lot of things with him, and he was there for the witness this stuff, and I'm supposed to be this superhero bulletproof guy, and my son seeing me at the lowest, like I was depressed. Well, I mean, I give my family props, I give everyone the benefits of stuff. I remember my dad, me and him finally built a connection based off of this, because me and him, we've never really seen eye to eye, but when it came to my pro wrestling thing, like he really fully supported me, and it really meant a lot to me. And for him to, a lot of people say, man, that's bad parenting, pushing someone to the limits like that. I really feel like I needed that, because my dad really helped me build me back up. I mean, my wife helped me build me back up. My kids helped me build back up, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man, I didn't go to the gym for almost half a year because I just was discouraged for the longest time. But man, when I took that pinch on my side and I could feel something, that's when I was realizing I don't care what I got to do. It's time to
Right.
wake it up, and
Right.
let's get this thing rolling. And I mean, bro, it discouraged you. You go into the gym and you're just able to lift your arms. I didn't go to the gym for a while when I first started back, because I was just like, it's embarrassing. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even mess with bands, because it was just like when you have a neck issue, it controls the shoulders, it controls all the
Yeah.
spots. So it's like my body just wasn't really my body. So it's like I had a good size frame and stuff like that. And man, when it was starting to feel a little chunky on the side, and I feel like my arms were just absolute weak, I had a wreck. I mean, it was really tough. And for me to really build myself back up, man, it took a lot. So for me to ever get back in the ring, that was just a one in a million thing. And then obviously, I think what was the biggest thing is obviously, when my father-in-law passed away, I just felt like I needed something, and this thing was a void for me for a long time. The big feud, obviously the 1,000th episode on Buzzing with Marlowe. Everyone knows how it got produced, how it happened. Me and El Nino didn't know anything of each other. He
That's
knew
a great
me,
feud.
he knew me, and he knew we could really build something. And the funny thing is, we still haven't even fully fulfilled that feud at the time. So it's like, and people have still been questioning, like, hey, when's this one gonna go down? Like, we built this thing up just for a tag match, and obviously it could have been so much more, but it is what it is. But and it got to be, and instead of one off, I got back in, got fully back in, and then like I said, man, I got this job, and it's like it's kind of took control more on the things now, because I mean I work a night schedule now, and it takes. I
You
mean,
gotta.
we're not gonna get an excuse, but you're just constantly moving and stuff. So I mean, I'm trying to put an episode out time and time again as much as I can, but also you gotta realize I'm a family man, and whenever I can try to dress up. I got new gear now too, so I
Yeah, I
mean,
noticed it. That's kind of if I can see it correctly, it's
I
kind
ain't
of a
gonna lie,
measure
man.
of your old
Cody, I
gimmick.
had it first. I
Yeah,
had it first, and then I saw him rock this
yeah.
almost the exact same thing at the Rumble. I'm like, come on, dude, come on.
Yeah, it was kind of identical, but not really. You got your own twist to it, though. I mean, I see it, but it's like
I love
it's
the
more of a
logo on the
homage.
back. That's something that I've always wanted. When I first got into wrestling or something like that, I said I always wanted a logo on my back. Like, obviously, me being the sports background and stuff, it just kind of gives you that ownership standpoint going, that is mine. You know, obviously, when someone gets a jersey and stuff like that, you want your name on the back because you don't want someone else's name on the back. You want your uniform that you put your pride and soul into.
Mm.
So when I got that Prodigy logo, shout out to Jason, he made that logo for me, man. I was blown away, and they were actually able to put it on the back of the tights. It looked kind of weird at first, I'm not gonna lie, but I got really accustomed to it, and I've been very happy with the ending result.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back into the profession. It seems like you're really feeling yourself again. Because I know we went through a couple of episodes where you detailed your comeback, the pain that you dealt with, the trials and tribulations, especially within family. You went through a lot of trials and tribulations with family. Health scares, and yet here you are, still being positive, still putting content out there, and still wrestling and still caring about other people. And for you being back, what's worse, you being back in the ring, or when you get out of the ring and you feel like, man, I am like in pain. I'm stiff,
All
but I,
right.
I still want to get back into it.
All right, so the funny thing is, obviously, like I told you, the last DCCW show I did was in October. We were only supposed to do a one-off match, and I haven't been back in the ring for like 3 or 4 months. And I got to go wrestle a guy named JoJo. My first time ever being in the ring with him. We did some fun things, and obviously, based off of what the event was, we did the trunk or treat, and it did the exact same time as the actual event there. So obviously, kids are gonna go get that candy first before they go to that wrestling event. Well, that's common knowledge.
Yeah,
We all
yeah, I
know
get
that
it.
one. We
I
all know that one. So obviously, we were getting close to almost the end of the match card, and fans were actually upset that I wasn't out there yet, or they already missed my appearance because it was rare that I got to go in McClenny for a little bit. I mean, I was fully with them for a while, and then obviously my contract got up, so it's like I started going around more areas. Thanks to my buddy Jules Bradley and them, just making me tag along out over in the South Florida area. And then so the promoter asked me and a guy named Carson Case if we could go put a match together real quick and just go have another one out. And I was like, absolutely, let's do it. And the funny thing is, man, I've never been in the ring with Carson Case. Actually, his name's really, I'm not going to pull the curtain just a little bit because Marty actually recently just got really hurt. So prayers out go to him, man. I mean, he shouldn't be. He's lucky to be alive right now. Obviously, based off of an injury due to work. But other than that, we put this match together. And the funny thing is, bro, we said we weren't gonna do nothing. We gaga'd. If anybody didn't, go back on my YouTube channel, go watch the match. I was fighting a light. If you know my character right here, those eyes are covered, ladies and gentlemen. And let's put it this way, they had spotlights on every corner of the turnbuckle. It's outdoors as well. So I'm literally not able to see at all in the match. It doesn't even look like I'm blindfolded. I think at times it did because when I bumped on a shoulder tackle, which obviously everyone in pro wrestling look at it and go, "Why did you bump it?" I couldn't see a lick of anything, so I just took the bump so I could actually see the ground and just see something. We didn't call anything in the back. We went out there, called the match on the fly. The fans absolutely loved it. It was a fun feeling just because it was like, hey man, I haven't been able to do something like that in a while. Obviously, the way wrestling is now, you're always usually calling it in the back and you're going to go spot for spot, whatever. And I did that for the first match. And then when I got to do this thing with Marty, we had an absolute blast. And then we had, obviously, that day I was just like, man, I feel good. I'm energetic, whatever. But man, when I got in that car and it was an
Yeah,
hour drive home,
and you sat down, you felt it.
that was it, bub. That was it. I was like, yeah, no. No,
What do you
why?
do for recovery? Do you do anything specific for recovery? Do you do the?
All right,
I know
so
people do cryotherapy.
it depends on what we're gonna do. I have a TENS unit in the car. Obviously, park somewhere, put it in for like 15 minutes. If it gets really painful, whatever, I'll put that on, help me out a little bit. I've got icy hot. I'm trying to remember what brand this one is called. It's really freaking good. It's got a CBD in it, and I mean, it does wonders. A Tiger Balm, I mean, the most typical essentials that you see. I'll put that on my shoulder, especially if I gotta drive home. I'm pain free at least until I get to the house. So what I would do then is, if I have trouble sleeping, I'll go in my sauna, my little sauna I have in my house, and then obviously I will alternate with the ice bath. I've been really focused. I really feel like I've seen a lot more results being in an ice bath after shows. I think that's been something that's been helping me more than anything. That recovery is no joke. And something I've learned too is about being in the gym as well is like that recovery is what really is something that happens. Instead of me working out 5 days a week now, I'm at least in the gym 4, and I gotta make sure I'm having a recovery day. If I have that recovery day, then I'm happier. And I feel like I'm able to do more, if that makes sense. Hang on the phone. Go in there. Go in there with her.
Yeah.
Save my life.
So guys, we are back on the Beyond the Wrestling Gear podcast with my buddy, my good friend Warren. We've actually done several episodes. The first few episodes have been through the David Cerebral Fitness podcast, but here we are finally after about a year or so. I chose to do a wrestling podcast, and now here we are. We don't just talk wrestling. We go beyond the wrestling gear, and we've been talking about pretty much anything. You know, from when you came back into wrestling to some of the trials and tribulations. Now you even being a father and starting a new job, and how you have to balance being a wrestler and being a dad, and how how difficult but rewarding that can be too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I love new challenges. Obviously, like you just said, discovering now being a dad with a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. Obviously, my son, everybody knows he doesn't fully live with me. He lives with his mom 8 hours away. He just had spinal infusion surgery not even 5 months ago. He's doing well right now. Really looking forward to actually getting him back in spring break. But I got this little 6-year-old in kindergarten, and that has been a transition for me because if you hear her now, it's a relief when she gets home from school just because she's so tired. It's amazing. And then when it gets around this time, no stopping her. It doesn't. I need it. I gotta have a can just to wake me up. Her, it's natural, and it's ongoing until whenever she lays down.
Yeah, you and I both. You and I both. I mean, I take care of my buddy here. I have a Maltipoo now, a dog, so he's still a puppy. So I still have to consistently take care of him, and I still got to
We
balance the
have two
workouts.
dogs,
Yes.
so
Yeah, yeah, man.
we're pretty female wise up in this house. I'm the
Yeah,
only
man.
one. I wait until Matthew gets home because I'm like, Matthew, I've been lonely too long, bro. Come on home. I need two men in the house.
Oh, I need you here. Bring some of that
Man, I got my wife, my daughter, and these two dang
manpower.
female dogs. That I'm outnumbered. I am outnumbered.
So you thinking about? I know I'm doing River City again this year, so I'll be up there for both days. I'll be there all weekend. St. Augustine. You thinking about coming up there?
I'm gonna try, man. If I'm off, that's the biggest thing. If I'm off, I'll be there.
Yeah, yeah. It'd
I
be
was
great
supposed to
to.
be out there with DCCW last time, but like I said, I just started the job at that time, so I didn't have no time to get off. So seeing that, and I was really happy to see not only the network that DCCW got to do there, but we also have Guardians Legacy upcoming promotion as well. Shout out to Skip and them. They did phenomenal. They got a great network with them over there. Obviously, they've got their household names. One of them is now on the WWE ID labeled, Sean Legacy.
But yeah, Mr. Sean Legacy. Congrats to him.
Great human being. Great guy. I really said it couldn't happen to anyone better. They've got great talents over there. It's Christian based. They do phenomenal stuff. I mean, the great stuff they're doing in Panama. Like, they're taking over in the Panama region just from what they're bringing out there. Obviously, yourself, man, you got Matt Riddle on your show. Shout out to you on that. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, seeing that you got to be a journalist and stuff like that. Shout out to Sticks.
Yes,
Good old Sticks, buddy. I'm actually working in his promotion now, Clash Pro Wrestling. We
yeah.
actually got a show not next weekend, but the following weekend in Williston, Florida. So we gonna be pretty busy with him on that too.
That's awesome. And he just won, I think, full time in the wrestling circuit now.
Yeah,
We just talked about it on the last show he was on with me.
yeah, man.
And
I'm really happy for him and Jules. Those
I'm
two.
very happy for him for those two. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
man. Jules is. I say he's a young kid. I call him a kid all the time, but the dude's older than me. But obviously, him being the age that he is, but he's came in this and just grown. My biggest worry is when Jules first came in was he'll never know how to say no. He wants to do everything. I mean, the dude's athletic as can be. When you look at Jules, Jules is just an ordinary person, but Jules can do the moonsault. Jules can do all those things and stuff. So it's like, seeing all those things. No, no, quiet. But it was like, seeing what he was able to do and see what he's been doing, man. Dude got to work in NWA and stuff like that. That's something I'm really more appreciative now, man. I'm happy with the achievements that I've accomplished, but it's also at the same time, man, I'm in this coach mode. Like, I love seeing the guys that I've been around, helping them out grow. Because obviously, I know my time in wrestling, I'm going to be very honest, it's not going to be much longer. But the times that I have, the times that I'm taking now, I'm appreciative. And these guys, they want this to be their household job. I mean, Jules, he'll tell you this is his job. This is his 9 to 5 technically, and him running his own, helping Sticks running a promotion now is just telling you how constant this thing is going for them. So it's like they're always on the road, and then they're trying to run their own promotion. So I give so much props to him and anyone else that's doing this.
I mean, it's never easy, and for you with the limited time that you have. I mean, do you see yourself maybe aligning yourself with the NWA, maybe doing a few, not just main event matches. I mean, I wouldn't say like that, but at least some form of
I wish.
getting involved. Maybe coaching or anything like that.
I would love to do something like that. I mean, it's just I I've been very, like I said, man, I've been picky on the booking standpoint. If it happens, it happens. I'm not really reaching out to people going, hey, let me do it. That's something I kind of alienated this run. If you reached out to me, I was full on board with it. I'll commit to it, do whatever I can. But it was like, I love the growth. I'm happy for NWA. They're coming back really big right now. There's some guys that I've been in the ring with recently that are on NWA. Jules Bradley himself, he's been on NWA. So, I'm
Shout out
glad
to
about
Mr.
it, but it's not
Shout out to
like,
Mr. Alex Kane, one of Warren's
yeah,
buddy. I
yeah,
think I'm
Alex
in
is
W
in
right
there.
now.
I mean, Alex, what he's doing in MLW is just unheard of. If there's one guy that really captivated from the COVID era, it's him. I mean, this dude didn't want to travel. This dude didn't want to do any of this stuff. He was just wanting to work at AR Fox's promotion and maybe some other ones in Georgia, and that was it. And I'm so glad this man grew from it. And shout out to Riot Pro Wrestling, because if it weren't for the run that he did in Riot, I don't think we would got Alex Kane to where he is in MLW and stuff like that now. So it's really freaking cool, man. I'm just happy for all these guys that have put in the work, done what they needed to do, and stuff like that, and the achievements that are coming.
Yeah, and I want to say a special shout out to Mr. Matt Riddle, who just recently captured the MLW World Heavyweight Championship.
Beat him for it, right? You beat
Yeah,
Alex for it, didn't he? Oh, triple threat. That's right.
he beat no, he beat Kojima.
Kojima, okay, but they did a triple threat in Atlanta, I think, right?
Right, but he actually faced Kojima in a one-on-one match and he won
Yeah,
the
yeah,
belt.
yeah.
And now he's set to defend it in the next Battle Riot in a Battle Royal against
Yeah,
30
that's
other
right.
men.
The Battle Right, which also is a cool, funny thing. That's where Alex debuted in MLW, was off the Battle Riot. So that's been like, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago now. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm set to see him back, hopefully at River City. And my buddy and I, Nate, are planning a little bit of a skit slash call out. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but it's gonna be hilarious, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. when we see him there, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I like that, man. So obviously this is my interview, but I also want to know, man, like how was that feeling with WrestleCon? Like obviously you got to meet Matt Riddle and stuff like that, but who were some other ones that you got to meet?
I got to meet. Shout out to my buddy Josh Breezy. I got to meet him for the first time, and we've done a
I'm
few.
actually gonna be on the show with him in March 8th, I think.
I think it's the ninth, Guardians Legacy, right? That one.
No, it's I think where I'm facing Xander Maddox. This match has been brewed up for a while. I guess he's on. That's right. He's one of the Miami boys. That's right. I've been hearing about these guys for a while, so
Yeah,
they've
he's
been
doing a
wanting to pair
handicap
me.
match against them. Breezy.
Huh?
He's doing a handicap match against the
Yeah,
Miami
he's
boys.
doing against them, and I'm going against Xander Maddox. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have some fun with that one.
Yeah, and props to him for winning the first ever Icon Legacy Guardians Legacy Icon Championship. Well deserved. Well deserved. And I love the storyline behind it too.
I will say the run that I've came back, Guardians is a promotion I'll never forget. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
Skip takes
wonderful.
care of you. Skip takes care of you. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, Breezy just recently mentioned he'd like to do an Icon Open. Will we see a match between the American Prodigy and Breezy?
Never say never. Never say never. Skip has my number.
The
Him and
title?
Logan. Him and Logan have my number, so never say never.
Yeah, I'd love to see you both. You know, duke it out in a match, and for the title, and see what happens.
It'll be fun, man. Obviously, you know him being from the Nightmare Factory and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah,
it'd be a fun challenge for sure.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to just see you two, come together and come up with something because the great thing about you two is you two are knowledgeable and you two like you two enjoy what you do. You know,
Yeah,
you actually care about the wrestlers and their health.
family life.
Yep, gotta love those kids. They're probably more energetic than the wrestlers you face in the ring.
Yeah, one almost beat that competition, but yeah, Annabelle, I don't win against at all. I'm her jobber. Period. That is the simplest thing to put. I job out to Belle every single day. I have no chance to keep up with her at all. That's something I definitely wanted to do even before I came back. That was something I really wanted to do. Obviously, I wanted to be with the right promotion. I think that makes sense. Obviously, I did come from Continental Championship Wrestling, but you'll never see my name back on that. I always say I was appreciative of the time and stuff I had there. I'll never forget where it came from, but that's my name could be off of DCCW. I could be one of their trainers over there. Shout out to Steve Pender and Vanessa Pender. They do phenomenal work over in McClenny. We've
Listen, I'd
got
love to
some
meet them
great
this
talent.
year
We
when
got
I get
some
to River
great
City.
talent. Yeah, man, definitely. They were there last time. They actually, them, the promoter for Guardians of Legacy. Shout out to T Gaines and Emily Locke and Exodus and all them, man. They've really been putting Guardians on a map. So I'm very happy to see the growth that they've had with that. I mean, it's a lot of different things that you could do, and that's something that I really like to see is these promotions that getting an opportunity and they're really taking it and just running. There was some promotions that we saw in Lake City. Now NWA is running over in Lake City, a small area in Lake City that NWA is now working over there. So it's like it's really cool to see wrestling is getting all around. It's not like just these big areas. It's really small areas. Like if anybody's been in Lake City, Florida, it's not the biggest town. And for you to see an NWA show for less than $20, I mean, you're getting your money's worth. You're getting a great talent. You're getting a lot of cool things, and it's just a great thing for wrestling as a whole. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, right now wrestling is red hot, especially NXT with the debut of
Scary hot right now.
Bruce, and now we got the Hardys finally coming back to the WWE
I know
after.
you're happy about that one, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad to see the Hardys back, and especially for Jeff. He's been through so much, and for him to get a shot at coming back, and I'm hoping this will lead to a Hall of Fame induction at some point.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be inducted.
Not this year, but maybe
No,
within the
not
next
this
year
year,
or
but
two.
I think they're it's pretty
It's
unorthodox that
close.
they won't be.
It's
I
close.
still say Edge and Christian are going to still get inducted to the Hall of Fame after they get their name from the AEW moniker. But I feel like, these guys trailblaze tag team wrestling in WWE. Like, let's just be real. So, if you think about it, we got our 80s and 90s tag teams, but we're gonna look at Edge, Christian, and the Dudley Boys, TLC 234, whatever number you want to count. They are one of the best tag teams out there. Period. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, even the women's division in NXT, it's one of the best in the world. You got Stephanie Curry, you got Jordan Grace, you got
I honestly want to put this NXT roster up with the past NXT roster, and I think they would give them.
they blew them out the water.
I think so, yeah. I was being nice about it, but yeah, you're being very dead on with it.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
and now NXT solidified themselves as one of the top promotions by signing Ricky Starks, aka now known as Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints. Oh, that's right. That's right. They did change his name. I'm
Yeah.
curious how that's gonna go. I'm curious how that's gonna be played out. I know Ricky's been really wanting. He's been wanting this for a long time, and I think he did it right, just like everybody else. Like, a lot of people, the tribalism is unorthodox. I think it's kind of funny now if you're on the Team AEW and Team WWE now,
Yeah,
because I'm
it's
just like,
stupid.
WWE is the rabbit, and there's no way they're keeping up. I mean, just
Yeah.
reality. Reality.
I mean, if you notice about me, I don't just share WWE and AEW and TNA. I share everybody, even the local indie promotions. Kraken Pro Wrestling, Aware, Qatar Pro Wrestling, MLW. I share everything.
Yeah, man. And that's something I'm really happy to see is wrestling is growing. And I mean, it's great to be in a wrestling standpoint now. Like, you remember, like we talked about numerous times, it was not the coolest to be saying, hey, I'm a wrestling fan. And now, man, you got ordinary people that are getting into wrestling. You got so much ways to get introduced to wrestling. I remember, shout out to my boy Dre on Wheels from the 11:30 podcast, obviously Commission Talks. We talk every Wednesday about pro wrestling. He is on every platform. Tubi, you're getting Evolve. I remember when I first started in Evolve, and seeing that they're now funded with WWE is just unheard of. And it's the same venue that Evolve started in. I mean, if anybody remember the talents, Austin Theory,
I'm gonna be honest with
Storm,
you.
all these guys that came
Yeah,
from Evolve. So it's like, all the top names that you saw from the South Florida area and the
right.
Georgias and stuff like that, the Carolinas, they went to Evolve. And seeing now that WWE is now funded Evolve is just unheard of. And now the WID championships that are coming in, I mean, it's not them and everyone else. It's everyone now. And that's something that
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really happy to see.
inclusive.
Yes. I think you could tell a big difference with Triple H running it now is just because you're seeing that. It's not just WWE anymore. It's pro wrestling. Now WWE is going to teach you how to be in the camera and teach you how to be a storyteller than just a pro wrestler, which that's a very common thing and something that I think a lot of indie guys need to learn. I mean, you need to learn storytelling. You need to learn how to get a continuous series. And I think that's something that indie wrestling has had a big struggle on for the longest time because, a lot of indie talent, and I'm pretty sure you can speak on it, David, don't really like watching the WWE product just because they feel like it's slow, it's not easy to keep up, whatever. Everyone's thinking, oh, I gotta one up the next person. I want to see if they can keep up with me in the ring. It's just those matches don't gel as much as everyone would think because not everyone is a Will Ospreay and a Ricochet and doing all these different things. So it's like you gotta pick your niche and feel like how you can go with it.
Yeah,
Storytelling in a continuous series is what makes a market draw. I don't care what anyone says, that is a how way to get a good payday in pro wrestling.
yeah. Not everybody's a fan of hardcore matches where you're bleeding out a stuffed
You won't see
pig,
me in one of those.
getting
I'm
hit with
not
street
care. I
lights.
don't care how high of a dollar you're putting me in. I'm not doing those.
And I feel like the differences between AEW and WWE is WWE is more polished You don't have those matches that are extreme. You don't really see thumbtacks, you don't really see glass, you don't really see
Oh
none of
man,
that.
Kevin kind of
Uh,
changed it up a little bit with that ladder match
yeah,
that
with
him
that
and
ladder
Cody
match, there's
had.
a little bit of that, but I mean, you don't see it as.
I mean, Kevin don't bend the way Kevin bend. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, you see it as a special attraction though with WWE though. With AEW, it's almost weekly. You're
Yeah,
almost seeing
and
that
and I
weekly.
think that's what's hurting them too is make it special. Something that has been about pro wrestling matches, even the indies. If you see a steel cage match, which granted you're gonna see a steel cage match pretty much the whole card, just because no one has the producers or the crew to put a steel cage for one particular match and that's it. Especially when you got a whole segment what you're trying to run with. And obviously make sure the steel cage is working and stays together and stuff like that. It's a lot of ongoing parts to it. But when you see a match like that, it's a special one. You're not gonna see that every single week. Because if you see it every week, a steel cage match is just like, alright, it's an ordinary match. But when you see stuff and like what WWE is doing with the pile driver, like when Kevin hits you with the pile driver right now, that's a serious moment because you're not getting out of it. Like you're out for a while. Look at Randy. Randy is still out from this package pile driver. I mean, when Sammy got hit, it was an impactful thing because Sammy can make you get a feeling for him for some reason. Like those are some of the things that I feel like so many people need to take those pointers on because look at Penta, a great example. Penta, I don't even feel like even got recognized when it comes to the AEW moniker compared to what he just did in WWE. Now, I'm fully always against the fact that we introduce somebody before they come out, but the way that they've been establishing Penta right now, I'm invested. Now, the little promo thing he needs to do, he needs something new. I can't keep hearing him say this every single second he's on the mic.
The thing with me and him is, I feel like if they push him too much, he's gonna burn out, and people are gonna be like, you know, it was fun at first,
Slow
and
his style down. That's the biggest thing, and I feel like that was like his first match. You could just tell he was nervous because there was a lot of a little bit of off spot matches. But shout out to Gable. Gable did phenomenal with him, got him over, showcased his talent, did what he needed to do, and that's something that a lot of people are not realizing too. Is that's what I love about what we're seeing with WWE right now is the fact that it's not just one talent overshadowing the next. Everyone's flowing very fluently. And that's something I try to teach guys that are trying to get into this business and stuff like that is make sure you just follow the person. Follow with the flow and just go. It's a magic that you can make with that. It's way better than, oh, let's see if this person can keep up because then it could go in so many different ways. You can either piss the person off, it can be a legit shoot fight, whatever we want to quote unquote say, or it could be like, oh man, that move didn't look really well because nobody was on key. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew how to keep up what was the fluency, whatever. And then the fans are just sitting there going like, what am I watching? Like, this is hard to follow.
what I
But
would
when you
love
go
to
like
see.
this, fans get engaged. The fans can feel it. The fans can understand what's going on. I mean, I think another thing that fans are getting an outlook on what pro wrestling is that show LFG right now. I'm very happy with what they've done with that because what they
Yeah,
showed the two rookies in the ring, they were saying, hey, the guy that was supposed to quote unquote the bad guy, he didn't do nothing bad until the very end. And it's hard to get the baby face over that way
yeah, and
because
I
you
gotta
can't
be honest
chase
with
it.
you.
It
Like
just
with that
makes it look
show,
like, hey, I dominated you.
like BJ Ray. Oh my, I can't stand the guy. Ever since he cut that promo before the show, I'm like, dude, be
Did you watch the
humble.
Roku one?
Be humble. Like,
Did you
what the
watch the
heck's wrong
Roku
with
one?
you?
Oh, he was just as bad.
Like, like
He was
he's the Johnny
he
Manziel of
him.
wrestling.
It was him and a buddy that both came from Duke over there. I don't know if the other guy is there. He was way better than BJ in my opinion. So obviously BJ just had the gimmick. I mean, he has that attitude and stuff like that. Like he's fully full of himself, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing at the same time. And him going at Bully Ray right there just tells you where you see his
When
persona is.
Taker had to stop him, that's when I was like, and that's when I got invested. I'm like, Taker actually spoke. He literally said
When
to
Taker said, "Are you freaking kidding me?" That's when you know something's happening.
I'm like, you do not want to cross Taker. I'm like, dude, you do not.
You don't want to piss Mark off.
No, no. And I'm impressed with Holyfield's son. I feel like he's got a shot at winning the whole thing.
Yeah, man. I think that's gonna be a cool thing what they're doing. And it's proven a point too, man. You don't. I always tell people, man, you always got to go to a training school to learn the business, but also, man, that NIL deal. There's so many ways you can make a successful career in pro wrestling now, and that's unheard of. Like when you think of the guys like Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Ric Flair, all these guys, like they had to kill themselves to make a dime in there. And to see what we can do now, man, it's really awesome. It's really cool. And you know, there's always something we talk about, even when you did track and stuff like that. We always want to leave it better than when we came in it. And you know that I feel like wrestling is uncontrollable now. I feel like wrestling is gonna be here for the long haul. Indies, everything. Like it's going to be here for the long haul.
I agree, and it's a wonderful time to be a wrestler and a fan, and I'm grateful to still see it. And one of the things that I was just thinking about when we talked about the major companies, you know, NXT, you know, TNA, and the main roster, I would love to see a pay-per-view, PLE, where they have all three brands on that PLE, like a major show. You know, it doesn't have to be 2 days, but it could be just one major show where all
I
three
would like to
brands.
see TNA involved in it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think
Like,
that would be a really cool
yeah,
thing.
like have a triple threat between all three champions in one ring.
Yeah, that could be an interesting. I mean, we just saw
Have all the
Moose.
belts on the line and from all brands.
Yeah, I mean, look what they're doing with Roxanne Perez right now. Roxanne Perez is actually going to be in the Elimination Chamber, and she's still quote unquote on the NXT roster. So it's like I think I still say one of the best Survivor Series still to this day is Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. That was a phenomenal card, top to bottom. What they did with Keith Lee and all them guys, like man, Keith Lee was like a star. He was slamming Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
Roman Reigns.
out of all
Slamming
people.
Roman Reigns. And goes to AEW, you don't really see anything of this poor man. Like, I mean, I was so hurt that Keith Lee didn't get. I literally said I give the benefit of doubt for AEW. If they can build Keith Lee to what I believe Keith Lee could be, I'll be happy. And they failed me. They failed me.
Yeah, and then you see him back in WWE, and they had him as was it AEW or WWE? They had him as Bearcat Lee.
That
I'm
was
like,
WWE. That was before he went to
the heck?
AEW.
What the heck? Like,
That was a
what did they
Vince
do to
McMahon
this man?
project.
You know?
I mean, I used to be like, you gotta give props to Vince for some. I think this era of wrestling now, Vince couldn't control because it's just like Vince is kind of way past his prime when it comes to adaptation, if that makes sense. I mean, Vince only could do so much more with everything. Honestly, I believe this still to this day, sadly to say it. If Vince was in this product, I don't think Cody would have got what Cody's gotten now.
And especially the logos on the mat now with Triple H adding the sponsorships.
Yeah.
You know, Vince would have been rolling his grave. He'd be like, nope.
Vince, I'm obviously partnering with TNA. That would have been a big no-no. Obviously, the reason why Vince did what they did last time, it was Mickey James. Because Mickey James came from WWE. So it wasn't like, oh, we're bringing an outsider completely in to, do this. But it did bring a network on it. Like, oh, wow, Vince brought the TNA Women's Champion at the Rumble. Like, what? Like, but to see Jordan Grace there and sign now, like, Jordan Grace looks like a star. Like, Jordan Grace doesn't just look like a brawler anymore. Like, she's got that look, she's beautiful, and she could lift weights, she could kick your behind, all that. Like, it's a believable market value. And, like, the whole talent right now is just unreal. Unreal.
Yeah, and for her, I'm really happy because she came from very humble beginnings, and now, with her hard work and dedication, and she was in the bodybuilding. On the Chris Van Fleet podcast, she actually talked about it. She said that she absolutely despised bodybuilding because it took a toll on her body. Just having to train, having to eat all the time. The schedule was just taxing, and then she got into wrestling, and she's like, "I'm not doing this
Takes
anymore."
It hurt. I mean, I say it numerous times, man. After I got out of high school, I did nothing but chicken and rice, 8 months, and oatmeal. You talk about misery. Chicken and rice, flavored, might I add. No salt, no pepper. Dinner time was the only time I got to put Cholula sauce on it just to give it a taste. When I tell you still I cannot eat chicken and rice by itself to this day, I'm not kidding. But I looked absolutely amazing, which obviously I didn't have that much knowledge at the time. Clearly, I just got out of high school and I'm like, all right, what can I do to get ready for this competition I want to try? Chicken and rice, 8 months, and I didn't even do the full unquote bodybuilding competition. I did board shorts look and found out most of these guys just had skinny abs. That's what pissed me off even more.
You're like,
Like
oh,
I literally trained for this. I won, but the guy in second place literally didn't look any appealing. Like he just had skinny abs. And the dude, I was just pissed. And
like,
I
why
was
can't I
literally
look
said,
like
I will
that?
never do this again. Never do this again. I was so pissed. Like, dude, I put everything into that. I was angry all the time. I mean, something I was really getting pissed off with at the time too is because I used to love Gatorade. Gatorade wasn't the smartest thing to put in your body. I had to put a BCA in my water and try to drink that through the day.
It was
It made
misery.
you, man, they're great, but I mean, I was just like, it was the only good tasting thing through that whole routine that I did. Chicken and rice, 8 months, and I mean, I'm not the best person when it comes to eating leftovers, so chicken and rice after 4 days, it gets a little more harder than the first time you cooked it, and it really started getting mad. I'm like, all right, we're about to do a new batch. I'm
There
about
you
to be
go.
done
Let's
with
eat some
it.
more. Some more of the same stuff about to go through with
We
it, right?
bought we bought so much chicken. I would literally buy like 6 bags of chicken, and I still say it, man. I will not do that routine again.
No, no, I would try it just to see, but I couldn't do it for the long haul.
8 months, dude. Chicken and rice. I looked great. I mean, I was more like wider at the time, but I mean, it was just that was the only routine I knew that I could stick with because I wasn't the best on veggies. I wasn't the best on certain things, so it was just like that was something I could really know. I'm not necessarily hating it. I could do it and control it, do whatever. And man, when I tell you, when I got those sugar-free sodas, those were like the best tasting thing in the whole wide world
Because
at
you
that
hadn't had
time.
anything with flavor for a while, so I'm
Man,
sure.
it was a different thing. And the sad thing is too, when I got off the routine, I got really sick because I wasn't used to sugar stuff like that again. So I kind of took a long time for me to actually get off the
Yeah.
leverage because it was just like, man, you really don't realize that taste feel is so different until you don't have it for a while, and then like you have a Sprite or something. Because all I really do, if I drink a soda right now, it's probably a sugar-free soda. Oh, when I taste a Sprite or something like that, man, it hurts. It feels like someone's just punching my throat.
Yeah, it's
It
like,
hurts.
see, a lot of people say back in the day when McDonald's just sell Sprite, they're like, the best Sprite you could find is at McDonald's because it tastes real crispy.
Yep. I
Real
mean,
crispy.
I'm not a McDonald's guy.
No,
Oh man,
I
my
don't eat McDonald's
daughter, my
anymore.
daughter, my kids are so picky at eating, but I
They
mean,
can't
I
say no to
joke about it,
McDonald's.
man. I joke about it. I'm like, if they dissect my kids, you're probably seeing McDonald's come out of their system at least twice a week, if it anything. I'm at McDonald's a lot, but I don't eat it at all. I cannot eat McDonald's.
I'd rather go the natural route. Get the potatoes, cut them up, make a good solid burger from home.
Yeah. I do have my little cheat things. I'll go to Whataburger. I don't get I don't get the actual meals. I get the breakfast. And I'm telling you right now, it's a phenomenal thing. It's called a breakfast burger. I don't know if they still make it over in your area, but it's got hash
Bro, we
browns.
don't even have Whataburger here.
Really? Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't really eat their burgers and stuff, but I'll eat the breakfast burger. I'll eat their breakfasts. They have either a honey butter chicken biscuit or they have this breakfast burger. Like I said, they got hash browns on it with the egg. It's actually a cooked egg. It's not those little pre-cooked things. like a actual scrambled egg. They have this special sauce on it, and it's a sausage patty. So I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, I'm not a big bacon guy right now. I've been really pushing it forward, which is kind of sad. I know a lot of people would think I'm absolutely crazy, but I haven't been eating bacon much. I've been kind of like trying to be a little strict on certain things, but if I eat bacon, it's very rare. My weekends are gonna be something that I'm gonna be able to cheat a little bit on. So I have like one big enjoyment. If it's a cake or if it's ice cream, whatever, and that's it. If I had that, I ain't having nothing else sweet the rest of that day.
Awesome,
So
man.
I'm really been more on that too, especially knowing you're getting older. So it's like
Yeah,
you gotta be
yeah.
smarter. You gotta be smart.
That's all. That's all you can do, right? Just be smart about everything.
I feel like I'm sensitive to sugar in some ways too now, man. Like when I have like a Skittles or something, it like hurts because I'm not used to eating sugar anymore. So it's like, oof, I regret every bit of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Warren, tell our listeners where they can find your show and plug away.
Hey man, you can find us at Buzzing with Milo on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We were on the X until they started making you pay for it. So I mean, I'm not paying for someone to just play videos. You can catch us on Instagram. You can catch us on Rumble. We're on Rumble now. Obviously, you can catch us on all audio platforms. We just brought Commission Talks back. Shout out to my boy Dre on Wheels from the 1130 podcast. We do a wrestling collab. It's just me and him right now. We've had some good amount of members on there. We just had Blackheart on recently from the Off the Top Ropes podcast network. You can catch me on there with him every Sunday at 10 p.m. The Pod Mob. We have a great chat. All pro wrestling, not just one brand. I'm trying to think if I'm doing anything else. I'm gonna be on a little bit more, promoting Clash Pro Wrestling's events coming up. We got a real good event. May if you're in Williston, Florida, come out. Last one we did for the toy drive, we did phenomenal numbers. I was blown away of the success that we had, and I was really honored that they gave me the main event that night. That was really cool. It was a fun event. Had new gear, so we had a lot of fun with it. I also will be live March 8th in Newton, Georgia, for Aware Pro Wrestling, where I'll be going against Miami Boys' own Xander Maddox. That's going to be a fun test for both of us. We've never been in the ring, and it's been talked about for a long time, and we're finally going to get it happening.
Yeah, should be a good time in store. And as for me, you got if you guys wanna meet me, I'll be over at the River City Wrestling Con in St. Augustine on June 8th and 9th. Both days. Come and find me. You'll be able to spot me because I'll be wearing a custom championship belt. So you'll see me out
Uh
there. It should be fun, and I'm looking forward to cutting down some promos, meeting new superstars, and meeting the fans out there, and having a good time.
Yeah, man. River City WrestleCon, I'm really glad. I mean, bro, they're in St. Augustine now. Like, it went from a small venue in Jacksonville to World Golf Village. And I mean, it's not the small part either. Like, they took over. I saw videos and pictures of it. I mean, it was just blown away at how much network. And I did hear and I heard a lot of the workers were shocked that it was a WrestleCon. Like, they really said the numbers that they drew there, they would have thought it had to been like with actors, movie stars, and stuff like that for it to be as big as it was, and they were blown away of the wrestling results. It, like I said, man, wrestling is hot right now. If you're in independent wrestling, get your name out, do what you need to do. You have so much opportunity to get this to be a living financially standpoint for you. There's great promotions as DCCW in McClenny, Reigns Legacy in Panama City, Flash Pro Wrestling. Where right now we're stationed out in Williston at the Ambits Post 444. We've got a lot of great promotions coming up. Obviously, Aware, they're coming up, and it's really strictly based on giving donations, and money and proceeds go to firefighters. So I'm always about shows that are really giving back to, our hard fought men and women from the police force, firefighters, obviously the military, clearly. He's got to support the military. That's a little messed up if I'm not.
All right.
So I mean, it's just really good that we're able to bring some fun things and it make a big impact for people. Obviously, with my son Matthew being autistic and the stuff that he's gone through and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and make the announcement now. May is probably gonna be the last SOAR. We're putting something together that's gonna be contribute for kids with the Ronald McDonald's House. They did phenomenal work for my son in Atlanta. We're gonna want to have money and proceeds go towards them and for all kids with autism, cerebral palsy, all these different things and stuff like that. And be able to give back, and that's something that I've really been focused on now is giving back more than taking in. That's something that I'm really trying to make a thing for.
Yeah, it sounds like you're winding down there from what you just mentioned there.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've gave myself a date for a while. There's one match. Everyone knows the one match I'm asking for. We're just waiting for the right promotion to put it on. And we're just giving the opening right now. If anybody wants to put that match on, just know we're going to tear the house down. Go back and watch the YouTube build up. It's all there. And I just want one match. And
Oh,
the
they
match
got.
that has started the whole thing. And I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah, I'm
He
not saying,
knows who it is. Everyone knows who it is. I think it's needed. I can set off in the sunset.
brother.
Simple as that.
I'm yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And you've had an amazing career, and you not just as a wrestler, but as a human being, you are a class act, and I mean that in wholeheartedly.
Appreciate it, man. And that's something, I mean, I don't really take back and really look at it that way. I just look at it as, man, I want to treat people how I've always treated someone. I mean, I've always looked at everything that I've done basketball, football, baseball, all this stuff. Like,
There you are. You want to be on the
man,
show?
I'm a big flag football advocate. I love flag football. Flag football is going to be in the Olympics. It's really just happy to see things that really deserve and they're
Yeah,
finally getting their
recognition.
notice. And it's something that's really beautiful. And I think flag football has been a great outlet for women. I mean, for them to really see some sports and get competition and stuff like that, man. I'm telling you right now, everyone thinks flag football is like a no contact sport, man. I
It is.
dare everyone
I
to
play
go
flag
take a
football.
drive in Tampa. I'm telling you right now, there's a tournament in Worlds every Martin Luther King on Memorial Weekend. There's a tournament in Tampa. It's called Worlds. You get teams that are all over the world right now. We even just had Mr. Cheetah himself, Tyreek Hill, at the event last time. And he witnessed this and he was just like, man, I didn't realize flag was like this. And he was seeing women housing, playing. I mean, these girls
Very
could
good
go
drive.
with men. It's really cool to see things and hear Undertaker talk about flag football and the growth and seeing what really flag football is. It's really cool, man. And that's something that I really hope everyone just takes acknowledgement is like, I'm a father first, family man first, and I choose what based off of what benefits my family. Obviously, me being this character was for me and for all the times that I think I've gotten to that point where I'm happy and I feel like it's about that time. It's about that time.
And thank you for for obviously treating the audiences and giving your knowledge and expertise to this everybody out there, and for being a tremendous human being and a great friend. And we're still gonna be friends
Oh
even
yeah,
after you
I gotta
finish.
catch. We gotta link up sometime, David.
Yeah,
I, I've been
we gotta
I've been
meet.
talking to Sticks too, man, and I hear we've been trying to get you to come out, to McClenny, and we've been trying to get some things working on the but man, yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not gonna be gone. It's just the pain part.
Yeah, the pain is the thing you're looking forward to just getting away from.
Man, the schedule I'm on now, I look at Taker, I'm like, dude, I don't know how you did it for how many WrestleManias. Just get yourself ready for WrestleMania. I thought that was easier. Like, oh yeah, man, I'm not wrestling every day. It's so much easier. No, it's harder. You need to be doing this every day. You need to be doing the bumps or something like that because man, it winds down and it comes back. It comes to bite you. It comes to bite you.
Well, thank you, Warren. And if you guys want to watch this show, it'll eventually be up on YouTube and it'll also be up on Spotify. And I'll be sharing it everywhere else. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Warren. Appreciate you, brother. And
Appreciate you.
remember, this is Beyond the Wrestling Gear, where we don't talk just about wrestling. We go beyond. We talk beyond wrestling. Until next time, see you later.